And I mean, LaMarcus was the weird one to me because it's like, well, like I said, well, he's not that stretch, but he's good for not being it. Like, he's the best non-stretch four that we have.
Well, stretch in your mind is to the three-point line, right?
Yeah, can stretch out to the three-pointer. And I mean, Draymond can do it. Blake can do it.
No, Blake is not a solid three-point shooter. Can we get a percentage on Blake Griffin three-point?
Can do it. That's what I'm saying.
Blake tops out about 20 foot.
LaMarcus Aldridge shot 35% in his last season in Portland.
I mean, look, let's be honest. It just comes down to you have a predisposed hatred of LaMarcus Aldridge because he's on San Antonio. Because he didn't have to pull all the weight on his shoulders.
But I don't have a hatred for him. And last year, Blake shot 33% from three. The year before, it was 40. Yeah. And those were his best 2 seasons from three.
But how many threes did he shoot?
On average, he was shooting, what is that? Not a ton.
Not a ton.
Yeah.
Not a ton, but it's like I looked at the percentage and I went, when you look at LaMarcus Aldridge, he shoots close to none. Where it's like he
knows where he's effective.
And that's it. And it's one of those things of, it's like I mentioned earlier, some of those guys, it was hard to rank them because it's like this NBA that we're looking at now, the stretch four is so valuable.
But you look at the highly specialized guys like the Paul Millsap, like the Derek Favors, who are dominant down low, and you just don't see. I don't see it as a negative to hold them back. I think that's something that they've become so specialized that they excel so strongly at that they warrant double teams. They're pulling in extra guys, and they give that open look to somebody else.
All right, real quick. Blake shot 18 threes.
Whoa.
18 threes.
Whoa.
And made a total of 6 of them. LaMarcus Aldridge shot about, around 11. Didn't make a single one, but from inside inside the 3-point line, he has better percentages than Blake. So I mean, Blake can hit a 3 as he showed, but LaMarcus is better from stretching the floor, at least from an efficiency.
It's kind of like when Bynum was bored on the Lakers and he started jacking up threes before they just yanked him out of the game. Be like, what the fuck are you doing out here? Like, I feel like that's what Blake Griffin, when he gets bored, he just jacks up a 3.
The thing with LaMarcus is that we saw him in a diminished role. When he was on Portland the season before, he shot 46% from field goal range and put up 23 points. But last year in San Antonio, we just saw his shot percentage go down. He went from shooting like 19 field goals a game to 14.1, but his field goal percentage went up. He went from 46 to 51 and averaged less points just because of the less shots.
And I think I think that's why I had Blake ahead is, I mean...
It's because LaMarcus is a great specialist, and that's what Dave was kind of
it's because
going after.
The points go down. Rebound, they're around the same. They're a guy that... I mean, LaMarcus is in that diminished role, can still get you 8 a game.
Which is impressive considering the amount of bigs that San Antonio is carrying.
The only thing stat-wise that's different is Blake had about 5 assists a game, but that he plays on the Clippers. Yep. And LaMarcus had... what, a 1.5 assists per game?
But LaMarcus Aldridge isn't known as an assist guy. The thing with Blake is he moves around the floor more. So maybe you want to say he's a stretch in that sense, where he does move around the floor more. But the reason why he has such a high efficiency is because he can shoot a little bit from outside the paint, but he makes his money driving to the hole and dunking on fools. I mean, we know that. We know that Blake makes his money off the highlight plays. And the thing I want to mention with Blake is his team was better without him. His team was better without him in Los Angeles. Would they, kind of beat Portland if he stayed healthy and Chris Paul stayed healthy? I think so. But if we look at when Blake Griffin was out, that Clippers team was fantastic without him. I mean,
they won a heater, yeah. But I mean, Blake Griffin's, it's just athleticism. Raw athleticism is what allows him to excel in the NBA. And LaMarcus Aldridge is like a polished product already. And with Blake, I know he's been in the league for a lot of years, but I just still think that, look, he's gonna fall off sooner because his game isn't as polished. It is like Sean said, he runs around the court, so he's more involved with the passing game. He and Chris Paul have a great relationship, so that ball moves around them. That wasn't LaMarcus's role. LaMarcus's role was to be in the low post and to be their scorer, period.
I want to bring that up, though, because with Blake, it's more of he relies on his athleticism. And guys like, let's say, Vince Carter. Vince Carter's been in the league for so long just because he was able to, bring something outside of his athleticism into his game. I mean, he became a 3-point specialist in Dallas. With Blake Griffin, he doesn't really have that thing he can rely on outside of that athleticism. Where with Dirk, he didn't rely on athleticism. That's why he's still in the top 10. after how many years, 18 years in the league, he has not been able to, he doesn't have to rely on his athleticism. He's been a fantastic shooter.
Which is good because he's not athletic.
Yeah, with Blake, I think we're going to see, with Blake, we're going to see a definitely quicker degeneration from him. And with a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge isn't going to lose that ability to shoot, isn't going to lose that ability to score inside.
Can I throw a question out about young kid that we have yet to talk about?
Yes.
The guy we have at 10, Porzingis. This is the question I'm asking.
Porzingis.
Here's the thing I'm asking.
I had him the lowest.
Well, here's what I want to ask. When we do these rankings next year, put yourself a year from right now. Where do you think he is going into?
Number one. No, I'm just an asshole. It's like, come on, it's hard to say a year from now. I don't know
what I'm saying. Well,
look,
what is he
got this crazy stacked team of old guys who were really good a couple of years ago.
2011 Dream Team.
Yes. So I don't know how he fits in there. That's a weird thing. Like, Derrick Rose still wants to be the guy.
6? Like,
no,
that's
Derrick Rose
thing.
still wants to be the guy. Carmelo still is the guy. And they bring in more guys.
Joe. Don't forget Joe.
Joe's useless. He'll pass the ball. He'll pass the ball and get you rebounds. Don't make him do his two-handed shot and he looks like a freaking idiot out there. Like, no. But look, he is a very good player. He came out and surprised a lot of people. Not me, because I called that shit before it happened. But
you and Phil Jackson.
Me and Phil Jackson, we both know it. Well, Phil was a 3-year timeline. No, yeah. I wasn't having that.
3-year timeline.
Look, he's gonna get more minutes. He's gonna get more opportunities. But I don't know if he's really going to have the best chance because that team is not set up to work around him.
Did you just throw out a
6.
number?
He's going to be at 6. Chris Bosh is. I think his injury. If we're playing, looking at a crystal ball, I think he'll be above Dirk just because he's younger and be able to move around the court better than Dirk. And I think Dirk will have a better efficiency rating, but Porzingis will still be able to ability to shoot. K-Love will be in a diminished role, or K-Love won't be on the Cavs.
I think Millsap will probably fall.
And I was going to say, I think you actually said, I was thinking Derek Favors just because Porzingis will bring that ability to shoot from outside where Favors is more of a specialist, and how good Favors is on the inside, I don't think he'll be able to catch up with Porzingis. And Porzingis also pretty good, damn good rim protector as well. So I think
it helps that you're over 7 foot.
Yeah, I think he'll be in 6, pushing down Favors and being behind Millsap, Griffin, Aldridge, Green, and Davis.
I got Millsap falling a little further. I just think it's team role and age. I mean, it's just it will happen over time. Mm-hmm. I love the dude, but he's a beast. He is a beast down low, but still.
Yeah, we still
kind of happen.
We kind of saw a rejuvenation of his career, so I think we'll stay in that. Real quick before we get into that, were you kind of switching on AD and Draymond, or was it AD all the way?
It was AD all the way.
And why is that?
Because
we've been waiting for AD to become a top 5 player in the NBA, and he hasn't been able to do that. And Draymond Green had 13 triple-doubles, and some people might say that's because of the system, and I had AD number 1. I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't be, but I was kind of like, well, I mean, Draymond has been
I would lie if I said the thought didn't come into my brain for a millisecond, but when I looked at it, it's like, you know what, AD's the guy where if I'm going to... You're telling me, Ricky, you can pick one guy for your front court. Who's the guy you're picking? AD. And then I'm like, boom, he's my number 1.
Yeah, it's not really more of who. It's kind of like the Clay and James Harden decision. It's not like what guy would you rather start your franchise with. It's what guy, who would you rather have on your championship team. AD, I would rather start a franchise with him over Draymond Green. But Draymond Green, I mean, in the position he is the best in the league, and that's the thing that kind of was I was flipping on, and not really flipping on. I mean, Draymond's known as a top 2 defender because he's so versatile. But
here's another thing: put AD on any other team, still AD. Put Draymond Green on any other team. I don't know if Draymond Green is still Draymond Green, and that may be the Warrior. That may be the Warrior effect.
That's fair.
It really
that
could
may be it.
I mean, we saw what a lot of people, when they're not in the right system, they lose a lot of their luster, and that was like watching Dwight Howard go to L.A. Like, he didn't have 4 outside shooters in the game dependent on him rocking the paint. No, he had Kobe, he had Gasol, he had all these other guys there who were just not there to support him solely, so his game faltered because of it. And I think that's the same thing with Draymond Green. Mm-hmm. Lesser effect because Draymond's never been the spot of his team, like the star of his team. But if he doesn't have the opportunity to pass open for those 3-point shooters who are shooting out of their freaking minds, he probably doesn't have as many assists as he has today. He probably doesn't have any many rebounds because they're not jacking up threes for long rebounds either.
Well, and I mean, I'll be honest. One of the things I probably looked at stat-wise is I went, no, not
that's
per.
That's what I did. Per.
Is
25,
I just went and said, you know what, 24 and 10. And then I looked at Draymond, 14 and 9. But then when I look at it now, it's the team that Draymond, like, if he doesn't have Clay, Steph, Barnes, that whole team, maybe he does have a few more points if a Clay's not there.
Yeah, he definitely would have some more points, but I don't think that given the same chance, I feel like AD is just a more dominant player, all-around better player.
Number 1 draft pick for a reason, baby.
Real quick, will this be the season that Anthony Davis becomes MVP?
Nope.
God, I would love. I
Or
wouldn't
challenge
mind
it.
I wouldn't
Challenge
mind
for it.
Nope.
I wouldn't
Not even top
mind
3.
it.
Why is that?
He's never going to do it because...
Never?
Never.
In his
I'll go
career?
ahead and say, I'll just say never.
Really?
He's going to be continually outshadowed by someone who's better than him, period.
You don't think he'll ever be in a position where he moves
wins?
from New Orleans?
Nope.
No.
Well, he may move from New Orleans. I don't actually know the future
Well,
on
I'm
that,
just-
but
I'm
I don't
just
think
Get
he's
into a situation where he's in a top...
I don't think he's ever
team.
the best player in the league.
Really?
Yep.
You don't think that his
Fairly
ability
confident.
to stretch the floor, be a dominant defender, and score in the post, you don't think that's ever
I
going to
mean,
be it?
if I'm looking for this next season right now, I'm looking
Yeah.
into my crystal ball. My MVP kind of prediction finishing in no particular order with the first 2, could it be either or? Steph and LeBron are going to be in that top 2.
Then you got Russ on a solo team.
Russ, or if fucking James
Harden.
Harden.
KD,
or
I don't know why you guys are forgetting KD.
or that third one. That's the one where I'm thinking in my head, I'm like,
There's
who's
5 guys
that
who can
third?
fit that role, and then there's Anthony Davis at the end of that.
I would say Damian Lillard has a better shot to get into the top 3 MVP voting
You
than
want to know
AD.
why? Because his game's not sexy.
It's a guard-driven league.
But,
It is a flashy-driven league, but still. I mean, when you're the best at something, I mean...
but he's not the best. That's the thing. He's not the best player in the league.
He's not the best player in the league, but would you say he's the best big man in the league?
It's hard to say because Cat's right on his fucking heels.
Cat
and
is on
Cat's
his
a rookie.
heels, but I would say DeMarcus Cousins is better than Cat.
Oh, yeah, Boogie just... But everybody hates Boogie. I mean, that's not
I'm
fair.
just saying. I'm waiting for Anthony Davis to step
I'm pretty
up.
sure Boogie just
The
drops down.
The
him
last
too,
power forward. Well, the last technical power forward
I would
to
say
win
big
it.
man. Big man.
Yeah, the last power forward to win the MVP 06-07. Who was it? Do you know?
Tim Duncan?
No, close. We talked about him maybe 5 minutes ago.
Just say it.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But to me, it's like,
Before
is he
that was
technically
Tim
true?
Duncan in 02.
Yeah.
No, Kevin
02,
Garnett.
03.
I would even throw
Oh, yeah,
Garnett
KG.
there.
I'm sorry. I missed
Kevin
that.
03-04. But then Duncan before.
but look at that. I mean,
Shaq was the last center to win it. True center.
The game has changed. It went from dominant bigs to how athletic of a guard can you be?
But the thing
or
with
even just LeBron James being Jesus.
the thing with Anthony Davis is, KG was a fantastic defender. Anthony Davis can fit that. KG was fantastic driving to the basket and kind of stretching the floor a little bit. AD can do that. Dirk, known for his shooting. AD has been able to show that he can shoot a little bit and he can dominate in the post.
Oh, yeah.
Dirk was able to do that. I think if AD's on a team and he is the, I definitely think AD can be the star of the team. He already is a star of a team, but I think he just needs to lead that team into the playoffs. I think he'll be there. I just want to see.
Yeah,
it.
I mean the last 3 years.
I think Curry and LeBron got him beat.
Oh, not this year. I'm not saying this year. I'm not saying this year.
Well, Curry, even for LeBron, it's the timeline shorter because eventually LeBron's going to retire.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
But it's
Your nightmare's never gonna end.
As a member of the East family, we all like to believe LeBron will leave us someday, but then LeBron James Jr. will happen.
yeah, LeBron James
And the
Jr.
shadow of the Jameses will never end.
the Jameses. I love it. But yeah, it's a different game. Like I look back at just before the 2000s, get Karl Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, David
Games
Robinson.
changed.
It's all different. Moses Malone, if we're going back to the 80s. You look ever since 2000, yeah, it kind of had Duncan Garnett, but after 04, Nash, Kobe, LeBron, Derrick Rose, KD, Steph
You skipped
Curry.
down like 4 LeBrons between there.
Also,
you only
Shaq-
got to say once because he won it a few years.
Shaq won't have that Steve Nash talk.
Oh my God, Steve
yeah.
Nash
Well,
earning that.
It should have been 2 Shaqs. I forgot about that.
All right.
Should've been
Maybe
two Shaqs.
after ever since I graduated from high school. Let's put it that way.
All right, let's wrap this up. It was a good talk. If you disagree with any of our power forward rankings, tell us in the comments below because we know you will. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at MostValuablePod and tweet us that way. But if you're listening on Blog Talk Radio, thank you so much for listening and check us out. If you're listening on SoundCloud, don't forget October 1st, we are moving officially to Blog Talk Radio exclusively. So don't forget to check out blogtalkradio.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Also, if you're listening and love this content and you want to support us more, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. You can help us support us in a huge way, and we would appreciate it a ton. But again, our social medias are in the description below. That's going to wrap it up. Join us next week as we rank the top 30 centers in the NBA. Thank you so much for joining us. For Dave, Ricky, I'm Sean, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this MVP podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod for more great podcasts.